Okay, so everybody knows what a locust is, right? And a locust is a pest. And locusts multiply and devour crops. They completely wipe out crops and they cause famine. And for those of you that don't know this, locusts and grasshoppers are the same organism. A grasshopper transforms into a locust whenever there is a high population density. Their bodies release hormones whenever they physically touch one another. It activates a hormone cascade that turns them into locusts. That's just the biological fun fact of the day. Don't worry about it. Okay, I'm getting obsessed now. You should care about the environment. Caring about the environment prevents locusts. Make sure that there is a balanced ecosystem. Let there be birds that prey upon the grasshoppers, and let there be grasshoppers that eat some of the crops. Anyway, the Bible uses a lot of terminology and analogies using the locust. I just got this from a website. I do not know what version this is, but it suffices. This is Isaiah 33:4, and it says, "Your plunder, O nations, is harvested as by young locusts. Like a swarm of locusts, people pounce on it." Okay, this is Joel 1:4, and it says, "What the locust swarm has left, the great locusts have eaten. What the great locusts have left, the young locusts have eaten. What the young locusts have left, other locusts have eaten." And so this portrays just the pure destruction of what a locust swarm can do. And again, this is Joel. "I will repay you for the years the locusts have eaten, the great locust and the young locust and other locusts and the locust swarm, my great army that I sent among you." And so talking about destruction again from the locust. This is Nahum 3:15. "There the fire will consume you, the sword will cut you down, they will devour you like a swarm of locusts. Multiply like grasshoppers, multiply like locusts." Here is a video of what is occurring right now.
What would you do if you saw this coming right at you? This monstrous swarm of locusts descended over parts of western Queensland in Australia. The grasshoppers destroyed thousands of acres of grassland, chewing through pastures that feed cattle.
And so the Bible has a lot to say about locusts. It is divine judgment, right? And what I want to specifically focus on is the end times revelation and the imagery of the locust that is used. And so a lot of the talk with the end times prophecy revolves around Babylon, which is modern day Israel. And so I like to refer back to Jeremiah and Isaiah because these are the prophets concerning that time whenever the people of God was going up against Babylon. And so Jeremiah 51:14 talks about, "The Lord of hosts has sworn by himself, surely I will fill you with men as with locusts, and they will shout in triumph over you." And so right now we are experiencing this Iranian war, and they multiply like the locust. How many children does one Muslim family have? Just think about that, right? They multiply rapidly. Now, this is not a dig into Islam, but it fits. And so these people will take over the modern day Israel, right? And so we can see here that this type of thinking puts an imagery on such people. And what that means is that the imagery of locust can refer to people acting as if they were locust, a destructive force. So let's take this train of thought of metaphorical language representing real world events into the book of Revelations, or Revelation. It's very common around where I am to say Revelations, so I might say that. And I want to specifically look at Revelation 9:7. This is where the prophecy of the locusts with the human heads wearing crowns is located. And at first glance, you're like, what? There's going to be locusts that are prepared like horses for battle that wear crowns on their head? Dude, this is metaphorical language. And so let's decode this. It says the locusts looked like horses prepared for battle. On their heads, they wore something like crowns of gold, and their faces resembled human faces. And if you know this verse in context, this is part of divine judgment in the end times. Do not worry. This is not the end of the earth. This is the end of an age. This is the end of the age of the self. And we are coming upon the age of Christ, where everybody comes into the realization that Christ is king. But we have to go through this first. It is like a birthing of some sort. But right now, we are suffering under this plague. The locusts looked like horses prepared for battle. And so they are strong, devourous people. And they wear like crowns of gold, so they're almost like royalty. And they are people, right? And their faces resembled human faces. They are actually people. But spiritually, they are locusts, and they are like horses, so that they can actually do things. They are powerful, right? And so, let's translate this to the real world. What entities are like locusts and are extremely powerful that devour the land? And so whenever we look at Nahum 3:16, it says, "You increased your merchants more than the stars of the heavens. The locust spreads its wings and flies away." And so we get a more of an understanding of what the locusts are whenever it compares locusts and merchants. It is in the same verse. And it talks about it being stars. If you know anything about Revelations, it says that the stars in heaven will come down. And it also refers to the multitude of this nature, right? The stars, there's a lot of stars. The locust, there's a lot of locusts. And merchants, there are a lot of merchants. And so if we take this train of thought that merchants are like the locust, and we look at today's economical patterns, we can see that the merchants, the people that own businesses, are very predatory, and they treat their workers like slaves, devouring up what is owed to the workers and to the customers, right? They do not treat the people that they deal with fairly. Bill Gates stole most of the things that he owns. Zuckerberg also did a lot of shady business. Bro is a sucker and a cyborg. Zuckerberg. El Jefe Bezos most definitely does the most shadiest of business practices. Have you ever heard about Whole Foods? He took over something that was beneficial and he made it parasitical. I loved bookstores, and this guy keeps on buying up the market wherever he goes, and he monopolizes it, and then he moderates what type of content you can see. This guy is not self-made. He has government contracts and is a parasite. They all have government contracts. They all are parasites. They all act like locusts and have the power like a warhorse. And they all wear crowns of gold. They all are esteemed within our society. All of these companies all work together under sort of one umbrella, under one agenda, and this is fascism, right? This is the United States of fascism, or you could say it's an oligarchy. It's pretty much the same thing. And this is the system that leads to destruction. It sucks out the life force from the society. What is the life force? That is the worker. The people that actually execute what these crazy people want. They're in the schools, they're in the churches, they're in the business. There is no escape. These are the metaphorical locusts with bodies of horses that have crowns of gold, that have the face of men. So though we might not actually have locusts in our field, we have locusts in our field.